Hello and welcome back to the Sacred Light Collective podcast. You are with Ali, and I am delighted once again to be here. There's been a little bit of a break since I spoke about this topic of voice activation, I matter, you matter, personal power. There has been so much unfolding for me personally through this journey that I have been navigating the peeling of layers so rapidly. And it was really interesting because I have wanted to come back and kind of step into this journey again and share with you and to also maybe offer some support, because it feels like such a big theme for the people in my world at the moment. And I have been seeing this pattern coming up with my clients and just even in some of the other ways that I've been sharing and connecting. And it's just such a big call at the moment, I think, as we deepen our awakening, we deepen our remembering. And as part of that, it is remembering who we are. But it is remembering the power that we are and that we hold. And, you know, that was such a big moment in that episode, which when I went back to look at when that was, I realized it was only at the start of this month. But my friends, let me tell you, it feels like a year has passed since I spoke on this with you. So much has happened. And this is what we have available to us at this time, this ability to really accelerate our quantum healing journeys and our growth and expansion. We really have at the moment this accelerated opportunity to make big change in short periods of time. And I'm almost laughing to myself because I feel like it's been a year, but then also this month of June seems to have just gone in the blink of an eye. But again, this is this reality that we are moving beyond time and beyond this sense of time and space. And so it can be all things. You know, as multidimensional beings, we can be in many places doing many things. And there's also, that leads me into a thread of multiple timelines and tapping into your highest timeline. But I don't want to digress too much, but I just wanted to sort of give you this snapshot of like there is just this ability to make big change, to access parts of ourselves in deeper remembering, to assist us to heal and to come into wholeness. And I say heal lightly because as we, really there's nothing that needs healing. There's nothing that's fixed or broken. It's really the journey of coming back into remembrance that we are whole and that we are complete and that we always have been. But the experience has created a different reality, a different sense of self, really. And I think that I personally come into a deeper understanding and awareness and knowledge of this and embodiment of this almost every day at the moment. And it's so much of what I feel called to share and to support and hold space for you as well to do the same. And as I've said right from day one on this podcast, I feel like I'm walking the path in readiness to, show the way or to guide you along the way or to be the light to inspire you to go that way. And I say that all with the most humblest of hearts, because also it's not the easiest journey at times. And, the revelation of feeling my 6-year-old self who didn't feel her voice mattered and didn't feel that she mattered really did unravel me for a time. And you would have heard the vulnerability in my voice or in my frequency on that podcast. And that was huge for me to share that with you and to allow others into that space. For those that do know me personally know that I've never been somebody that has been a big sharer personally. I'm very good at deflecting and asking the questions and not really opening myself up fully, even in, my family relationships, my dearest of friends. But I have been learning to do that more as I have been allowing my heart to open. And, this podcast has been a way for me to safely speak into what is here. I can already feel my throat. So bear with me, because I can feel my throat tightening as I speak into this. Whenever I'm speaking into something that is deeply personal or powerful or impactful, my throat will always give me the signal, which is beautiful, because I also know that this is a way of stepping into that and allowing my throat to realize that we are safe that our voice matters, right? Oh, how beautiful is that synchronicity? So, yeah, I feel like this is just this real expansion for me, and this understanding of how actually important it is for me to not only open my heart and to allow the defenses to soften, to allow love in and to be more love, but it is to share that more. And it is in that connection with other people that it's time to bring some of those personal stories forward. It's time to share how I'm feeling. It's time to share more of that journey. And so even as I'm almost having some big aha moments as I'm speaking into this right now, because when I sat down to record, I knew that I wanted to touch on this topic again. I knew I wanted to bring you back into this journey and share in this journey. And I didn't really know what was here for me to speak into. And I think that this is all tying in so really beautifully to some of the messages and the offerings that are coming forward in my world, to share about the call for us to really open and amplify the heart, the light within our hearts, and to really see that for ourselves, because that's the first step, right? When I spoke to you about recognizing that my voice didn't matter and that I didn't matter, and then I was seeing that synchronicity through my client sessions, through conversations with people, the thread was really strong there through the collective around me. And it was really important to just be able to be with that, to witness that, and to hold that. And so I feel what is really present to share primarily around the part 2 of that journey is the power in really seeing yourself in what you're feeling, what the emotions are, and just being really honest with yourself about what is there, being vulnerable with yourself first and foremost. Because before you can allow anyone else into that, you need to be vulnerable with yourself. And so in that moment, in that episode, when I had been walking that path and I'd met that part of me, my 6-year-old self, and I was completely, taken aback in a way that is how she was feeling. And it took me some time after that, some days, to sit with that and, to be able to then really share vulnerably with you. I really needed to see that and be with that vulnerable part of myself first. And so much of what we're doing is our inner work, isn't it? What we want to see in our external world, what we want to feel, what we want to have and attract and hold, is a reflection directly of our inner world. So in order to, feel like we matter, or to feel like we are loved, or to be able to connect on a deep, intimate, emotional level, we need to be able to do all of that with ourselves first and foremost. And it's more confronting, perhaps more challenging. I'm going to say that loosely because it is as challenging as you make it to be, but it's really being able to sit with the feeling, it's being able to sit with the emotion, it's being able to sit with the memory, it's being able to sit with the knowledge, the realization, and the awareness of what is there. And it's been such an interesting journey to have, this idea of, for me, I matter and my voice matters was, very specific for me. And so I thought it was specific for me because I use my voice so much in what I am called to share and what my higher self wants me to share, what I feel to be in service of. But I soon realized in working with other people, in hearing other stories and receiving beautifully messages for people co-creating, through this, I really began to see how the voice is a representation of our power. And it went beyond just my initial realizing of where maybe this was for me, that my voice particularly was my power, was my activating point. But it went so much deeper than that, because for all of us, there is power in allowing our self-expression, our authentic expression. And I felt like the throat wasn't just a representation from a vocal, from a verbal, spoken, oral essence, but it was a representation of allowing ourselves to be in that fullness of that expression, our expression in our physical form of our personal power. And I had this sort of spontaneous connection through a meditation journey that I was on, where I was led to start singing "Your Voice is Your Power." And it was through that very process. And I'm no singer. And if you've heard some of my light language activations, when they try to bring through something in a song, it's like it's really not that not that well in tune or at a great pitch. And I keep saying to Spirit, I'm not a singer. And well, I shouldn't say I'm not a singer, but my current vocal ability does not lend well to singing. But it was this like expression, and it was this openness, and I was in my house and I was alone, so it didn't matter, and I just was singing at the top of my voice. And it felt so freeing, because it felt like the more I sang, the more powerful the words became, and then the power of the words empowered me. And I felt this full body sensation. It wasn't even just, as I said, around the use of my voice. It was giving me an outlet for my personal power, the expression of that through words, through the song, but even just the frequency and that vibration. And that was something that I noticed too, working with some clients, where we would come through the throat, and not that they had ever really identified having any issues or imbalances around working with their voice or their throat chakra energy, but it felt like this really beautiful way of activating the way we can express our power, and that we can speak into our power, that we can choose through this point. Because something that has been coming through for a long time around our power, or remembering our power, is our ability to choose, the ability of choice, and that is directly linked to our personal power. And it's what we choose in every moment. It's the choices that we make. And that has been such an interesting observation to notice too, those moments where I personally have given away my power because I have allowed myself to become trapped, to become stuck by not making any choice, by slipping into a victim mindset and feeling like there was no way out of this, or this is the way it had to be, or this is what I needed to do, and this is what it should be. And I kind of went through this roller coaster over all of the years of my life, these little flashbacks of like, oh, that I didn't do it then, or that time when I felt like I couldn't make a move, or I couldn't make a decision. I was really not standing in my power. I was abandoning myself. I was giving away my power to the situation rather than making the difficult choices. And then there was this opportunity again in client sessions, and that's just why I'm so grateful for the work that I do, because it feels like that it's a massive co-creation of like what I'm working through is then reflected back through client sessions, as I said, walking the way, but walking the way with you as well. And I had to have some tough conversations with some beautiful clients of mine. And I say that tough conversations because, again, if you know me or you've worked with me, my approach is somewhat gentle, and I am not great at being the hard taskmaster. But Spirit is certainly bringing through in a much more direct way of like, this is like to be really direct, right? And so I had to have this conversation with people around, do you know what? You're not actually stuck. You're not trapped. You're just not willing to make the decision. And you're saying this is what I should be doing, but is it what your heart is asking you to do? And is it because you would rather just not be more uncomfortable by saying no, or by ending something, or walking away from something, or whatever it might be? And there was some big aha moments for many beautiful people as well over this last month of just recognizing where they have not been using their power. And in these instances, right, the power is coming through the word. It's coming through saying how they feel. It is coming through saying no. It is coming through and saying, I deserve XYZ. I am worthy of this. And it is speaking into this honoring of themselves. And so if you can see there how broader this voice activation, the throat activation has become, how important your voice matters, because it matters first and foremost, it matters for you. It matters for you to hear, to listen, and to speak your voice. So what I want to impart on you from this episode is really to connect now with having seen how you feel about your voice. Do you resonate with perhaps a feeling of discomfort around the words, I matter, my voice matters? Maybe do you feel like there are areas of your life that you haven't been speaking into what is true for you, what is aligned for you? Perhaps you haven't been honoring yourself. Perhaps you haven't been looking really honestly within. You haven't been really seeing what's there, feeling what's there, acknowledging what's there. You know, so much of this is connected to our inner children and meeting our inner child in these moments. And, you know, there wasn't anything specific that I have done with my 6-year-old since we had this moment of realization and sharing together, other than I brought her into the light within my heart. I brought her to the love within my heart and allowed her just to be there. And at a point that she was ready, I asked her what she needed. What did she want to input? Where did she want her voice to be used? And she comes along now for a lot of my creative endeavors. And in fact, she is here in our energy together as we share in this episode. Delighted and joyful to be sharing her voice with you all as well, might I add. So it's simply being aware and bringing into that awareness and seeing the impact, as I have hopefully shared in a way here, that how much of an impact that can have, that might not be connected to this sense of my voice matters or I matter, but I hope this is an invitation that you will connect to your inner child and connect to what you're really seeing and feeling deep within your heart, and allow that to come forward into your awareness, into the light and the love within your heart, because this is all part of where your power lies. This is building the inner empowerment and the self-confidence and the self-trust within you that is enabled then to be shared and received in the external world. And there's so many facets to power and personal power that is really present at the moment. And I'm sure that is in part because of the collective energy, the collective vibration, and we're raising our frequency. There's more people awakening to this aspect of themselves, awakening to the truth and remembering who they are. And you might be one of them. And welcome if you're here. So it's really becoming more aware of what's happening in your inner world, what's happening in your heart, and digging in gently digging into some of those areas that have been long forgotten or tucked away or hidden. Now is the time to just bring the light of your awareness to just see it with the emotion, to allow the light of your soul, your higher self within your heart to share in love, To recognize that you are whole and complete, that you are a divine being of light and love within that physical body, that human suit that you're wearing. And as we come into this awareness and this remembering and being able to enact our power, right, to create as a spirit in human form, to use your voice, if that is what you feel called to do. And it might be that, as I said, you use your voice just in your life, in asking for what you want, for speaking what you don't, for honoring yourself and your boundaries, and creating through this what it is that you desire. You're only ever one choice away from where you want to be. And, in every moment, there's an opportunity to make a choice. And what I'm really working very, very consciously with at the moment is moving past there being a good and a bad and a right and a wrong, the duality, and coming more into neutrality. And just really living and embodying the experience that life is offering to me, and what can I learn from this? What can I choose from this? And something my dear friend Amy and I have been really sharing with each other a lot is around who are we becoming? Who is the woman that I'm becoming? And what do I need to choose to be her? And maybe sometimes there are quote unquote wrong choices or slip ups or mistakes. But rather than beat myself up for that, it's reminding myself, okay, what can I choose now? What can I choose in this moment that is going to bring me back into more of that state of being that I desire and the woman that I'm becoming, or the spirit in human form that I'm becoming? And it is really as simple as that. And I can feel the resistance, and it's some internal, but some from you listening now, that can be hard in the moment, and it can be. You are correct, but it's only as hard as we make it. It is our mind. It is our mind that will tell us something is hard, and so we believe that, and we allow that to be the truth. But dear friends, this is another point of where your power is what is the truth here? Where is love here in this scenario or situation or experience? Because fear is driven by that illusion of the mind about creating the hard, creating the perceived discomfort of that challenge. And what if you could just allow yourself to be in the light and the love of your heart, your higher self, fully present and centered in your body, and just allowing the experience, surrendering to the experience, and choosing through your ability to access the power of that creator within you, and keep choosing. And let me tell you what comes through from that, and that is freedom and liberation. And liberation has just been vibrating through my frequency in the last 5 minutes. And it feels like that is what is available to you when you choose to embody your power, you choose to enact your power as you remember who you truly are. And I'm feeling like I would like to share something that is sitting in my field around this. And in the Your Voice Matters episode, we touched on a voice and a throat chakra activation. And today what I'm feeling coming through is in the solar plexus, so in our personal power center, just to complement that, to open and expand that center within us, that beautiful central sun that we hold in our solar plexus, in our beings. So if you would like to receive this, just giving your consent in the form of a yes or some way that you allow yourself to receive. And taking a deep breath and just placing your hands over your solar plexus, or one over your heart and your solar plexus, whatever feels comfortable for you. Namuya ikindera isundro itama, zepoya eku inama eto jumutirkienara, lepoya eno ekuya muy sandeke ero, lapoya ekuya muy sandeke era uya. Napoya ikenera, zepoya no shandeketero isamboikata, lapoya noya de pesantikuta puita tita tu sampotita tuta tita tuta sito tute tita tuta, la puisita tuta situ puta sita tutu shita puta isa puta ero upa inda, la puya niku itnama isande uya. La puya itu ya muisa inu isambuya nera apoya nepoya ala moya iku ya moisa itu toshu terikita la puya ina kusoro ishumatara iku ya moika nera kata la puya inu isambuya luya madakatea la puya iku ya muisa itu jamute kata luku ya moya ta aku yang santa ero o yang mendraya tu yang negate lamu atu jemutra kinda isaputi sanraba itaira. Just breathing and receiving, because there is a lot of light codes pouring into you now. I felt like that was just the light was just, what's the word? The light was just streaming down on us and activating through solar codes and high density codes. So feeling yourself in a column of light, a stream of light, just pouring down, radiating down through within the body, within the chakra system and the central column, but also around your entire body and your field, your auric field. You might even feel like you want to move, like I can feel that my body is wanting to circle, kind of getting that solar plexus, the upper abdomen space moving a little bit, and maybe that's in an anti-clockwise direction, but allow it to be whatever feels right for you as you just allow the movement here. It's like creating some space in there. It's sort of breaking up the density of the energy, just getting some flow and some movement in that stuck and stagnant energy, which is now starting to free. So really allowing yourself to move as well as much as you can. Ero kinda mishandike uyana, la poya inda kisotra kimite kisantigra, la poya ikuyanama, le poya isante kiedra utum sakatareta, la poya ikuyamuisaki aluku sharakinda, la poya itu ushamataki aruku yamuyan iksandriki auta. Si so mi katara, si so mi katara, si so mi katara. Se poyande ku ishande keneme ki era kuta sumatari kitata. La poya iku yamuyande ku yesandra me itu ku ushna. And it feels like now that the energy is circulating like in an infinity symbol, the horizontal figure of 8 through that center. Kind of weaving through the yin and yang, the masculine and feminine energies as well through that space, bringing in a really nice harmonious and balanced energy flow through that solar plexus and that upper body. It feels like it's freeing up too. So some people might have been feeling some bloating, distension, some tightness maybe, or uncomfortableness through that upper abdomen. This feels like it's breaking through and really allowing for some flow, some beautiful flow. Napoya kuya moy sante ro ushna bikete suku ushta pikera misatro sabaka edo jama etukuya. And the message coming through here from our higher selves is really to allow yourself to see yourself in your power. There feels to be perhaps a little fear, distrust, uncertainty, or perhaps even just some overwhelm, but there is a number of sensations around not feeling as though that you want to or that you're ready to see yourself in your power or to see the power that you hold. And so your higher selves are just saying, or just asking, inviting you to begin to see the power that you are and that you hold, and that some of that resistance will ease itself in the coming days as you allow this just to be so. Allowing any fear about what it means to hold this power. And this is coming through from maybe past life, parallel life experiences where there's been an abuse of power or a mistrust of the power or something that has created this fear of holding and seeing and owning your power. That's what's really present now. Amoya ikienera isodroje mudrakinda isuya leku yamutkrea toshna pikera. Laboya ito shomono isakiera ito kushpikina isatekera. Laboya ikuya moya danekena ikueta. Letting go, dear friends, letting go through that space around the solar plexus and the upper abdomen, even around the heart, coming up towards the heart in that sort of midsection of the body. Let yourself soften a little and open a little to this awareness. And trust that even if you're not feeling, you can really open into this. Trust that this seed has been planted, and that now that you are aware of fear and resistance around seeing your power and holding it or owning the power, that you can allow that to soften through the light of your awareness, that love in your heart over the coming days and weeks. And just by your pure intention, if you hold the intention to feel safe to see your own power, to hold it, to own it, allow your higher self to expand through your heart. Your higher self really wants to work with you with this, really wants this to be dissolved, to be transmuted into the light of you, into wholeness again. Because as I said earlier, it's time to awaken more deeply. It is time to remember more of who you are. And it is really time to step into the light of your sovereign divinity. And to do that, you need to see that, you need to feel that, you need to know it, to acknowledge it, to allow it to come forward. And I can feel the softening now as you receive that. So thank you. Thank you for receiving. Thank you for honoring the call to step into your light, to step into your divinity, to remember who you truly are. And thank you for joining me here and being a part of the Sacred Light Collective, for walking this journey with me, because without you, this, as I've said all the way through, this is a co-creation. And while I can't see you, I can feel you. And It is because of your presence that enables me to bring through, to share, to walk the way with you. And I'm just so honored. I see the light, the love, the divinity within you is the light, the love, the divinity within me. And we are one. Thank you, thank you, thank you.